Hey guys, welcome to the new channel. This is going to be called Hungry Man 97's Collectibles. We're going to focus on another passion of mine. I am kind of into guns. I have another channel with that, but I also used to collect a lot of baseball cards. And while it's not something I necessarily collect a lot anymore, I do pick them up from time to time and kind of have fun with it. You know, it's like usually you have this desire to get the most valuable card, the most hard to find card, the rookie cards, whatever, Mickey Mantles or whatever. I came in during the late 90s junk wax era where they were just massively overproduced. We were buying boxes and boxes of cards at a time that weren't really worth much. Well, in 1975, way before I came on the scene, before I was even thought of, actually, there was a lawsuit put out by Fleer to sue Topps to get onto the scene of baseball card manufacturing. Well, in a big landmark decision, they actually won that case, and in 1981, they were scrambling to make some baseball cards and put them out with what pictures they had, and they put out some cards. They put out a set in 1981, had a ton of errors in it. It was just a horrible error-ridden set where there was just probably hundreds. I mean, Donruss came on the scene at the same time and had the same problems. About the same as many errors. A good percentage of their cards had error variations. I don't know if anyone really knows definitively how many there are out there. But tonight we're going to talk about a few of those Donruss ones. There is a lot of them, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I'm going to go kind of quick, but you're going to see that they really have a lot of problems putting these cards out accurately. Kudos to Donruss. I mean, whenever they found an error, whether it was a silly proofreading error, they would rush to correct it. So they had all these error cards and all these corrected cards. None of them were really worth anything. But to a collector like myself, and I'm always looking for these weird anomalies and strange things in cards, they're kind of cool to hang on to. So first one I have here, Rennie Sennett, number 72. In 1980, he had a disappointing first year with the Giants, and is apparently still struggling to regain batting form prior to broke his leg. Well, they corrected that one by saying that he just broke his leg. So it's kind of a good example of a poor troubleshooting that Donruss had. Joe Charbonneau, number 82, says that for some reason Phillies traded him to Tribe. And they don't know why they put "for some reason" in there. I don't think that the writer was necessarily trying to be funny. I just think he wasn't really paying attention. Well, they came out with the corrected version and removed that "for some reason." The next one's kind of a cool trivia one. Bobby Bonds, number 71, father of Barry Bonds. Now, Hank Aaron had just retired from baseball with 715, 700 and something home runs. Well, they decided they would give Bobby credit as having career of 986 home runs. Don't know how that one got by. But they did find it and they corrected it, and it should only be 326. The next one is Dwayne Kuiper. These are always my favorite, where the errors on the front of the card, and there was a lot of those. Okay, mainly like misspelling of their names. Dwayne should have a U, not a W, so they corrected that one. This next one's really funny. This one kind of epitomizes the poor quality standards Donruss had in 81. John Ellis. We got this handsome guy with a bat on the front. John Ellis for the Rangers. Number 26 is the card. Well, that's not John Ellis. That's the problem. So this is a picture of Danny Walton. Well, they found that and they corrected it. And here's the picture of actually John Ellis. But it's a horrible picture. It's like they couldn't find a better picture, so they found him. He's kind of looking off to the side. He looks all sad. I think he's sad because he knows that Donruss butchered his picture. So he's officially forever immortalized as this. Looks like his cat died or something. Next one is Pete Rose, number 131. Not really an error, but this is the only one that makes the Beckett. The other ones just aren't valuable enough. This one's still only about $1 or $2. Makes the Beckett because at the bottom it says here, for early Pete Rose career highlights, see card 251. Well, they came back and corrected that and said C card 371. So, I mean, they both are Pete Rose cards, so they're not officially in error because they're both correct. But kind of a strange one. I don't really see cards where they reference another card, and in this one they have the same card references two different cards, so kind of a weird one. Vern Rule, number 261. Got a handsome fella up close shot, except it's not Vern Rule. It's a picture of Ken Forsch. Well, they corrected that one, and they have another one here. And this one, same as the other one, it's just not a very good picture. The sun is in his eyes, and he's looking pretty pissed off. Again, probably pissed off that Donruss ruined his card. Larry Heil, number 87, said that he hit 28 RBIs when in fact he hit 28 home runs. So, kind of a bad error, but they corrected it. Number 342, Paul Splittorf. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Well, they left off the L off the front of his name, so it says Spittorf. I think that's a pretty embarrassing mistake, but they corrected it. And both are available for cheap. Number 97, Tom Bergmeyer. He is actually a lefty. They said he's a righty. They corrected that one. Dave Smith, number 23. This one's interesting. So the box around his stats is kind of broken on the sides, on the top corners. Well, apparently that was a big enough problem to where they corrected the card, and that's a kind of a good example of an error that just I don't really think they should have corrected. They should have just left it, but they were kind of maniacal about fixing their problems, so they corrected it. Number 61, Del Unser. The little triple box, tell how many triples he hit. They just left the 3B out of it, and it's a little blank box. They also corrected that. Duffy Dyer, number 7. His batting average for that year of 1980 was 185, when in fact it should be .185. I don't know why they would bother fixing that, but they felt strongly enough and reissued the card with a period in there. I don't understand that. When an announcer says batting 385, does the other announcer be like, oh no, hold on, that's .385? No, you don't correct that. You know what he's talking about. But they felt the need to correct that. So Gorman Thomas, number 326, says fourth straight, should be third straight year. Talking about it in the stats. Number 457, John Tudor says his win-loss percentage was 9.7 when in fact it was 9 and 7. So they put a period instead of a dash. It's like, come on, we know what you mean. It's not that big of a deal. Ivan DeJesus, they got his hits wrong. They said he hit 7802. You kind of see what's going on here. I mean, they're just little errors. They're just rushing to put these out on little typewriters or whatever they're doing. Bob Picciolo, this is card number 357. He goes by Rob. They called him Bob, and they corrected that one as well. Louis Pujols. They put an I instead of an L in the last name, so error on the front of the card. That's number 379. But they corrected it. Glenn Adams, number 566. They decided to give him one N instead of two N's. It should be two N's. They corrected that one. Buck Martinez. Oh, this one's cool. Okay, so the reverse negative, okay? So there's a few famous errors of reverse negatives, and this is one of them. It's not really famous, but this is probably one of the easiest ones to get. But they corrected that one. They put it the right way. You can tell by the Brewers written backwards on his shirt. Gary Matthews, number 306, has two T's instead of one. They corrected that one. Steve Rogers, number 330, also spelling with his last name. They put a D in Rogers, like Roger Dodger. So they corrected that one. Bob Lacey has an E in his name. They corrected that one. That's number 240. Tom Donahue, number 51. They put an A instead of a second O in his last name. Also corrected that one. Yeah, I imagine they're trying to help out these guys. You know, they're making cards of these players and they're misspelling their names. They probably feel bad about it. But I mean, as you can see, Donruss was just kind of on top of every little error. They would quickly correct them. Like I said earlier, none of the cards are really worth anything. These are available on eBay for pretty cheap. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about something in the next video. Some cool stuff about some old Topps errors that are going to be pretty cool. Topps was definitely not free of errors when they made cards. So stick around. Hope you subscribe. We're going to have more of these. I think we're going to have some fun with these videos. I'm not going to make them all about baseball cards, even though they're definitely mostly going to be baseball cards. So if you collect or ever collected, hit subscribe and maybe you'll see something that you've never seen before. Thanks for watching.